Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft Season 6, and we're starting off today's episode with a live stream announcement. There is going to be another Hermitcraft streaming day. If you've never heard of these before, it's where we basically stream back to back, one after the other, all playing on the Hermitcraft server, and that is happening on Saturday, August the 18th, so mark that day in your calendar. And right now I've just hopped through the portal. There is a phantom suspended in midair. Oh, now it's night time. Hi, nice to meet ya. Goodness me. Get out of here, you scamp. Oh, I'll take that, thank you. Okay, that was a horrifying entrance to the Natural Health Organization. This place right here. We're back here again because guess what? I'm all out of pufferfish. I got none. Not a single one. Isn't this all about preservation of nature, protecting the wild endangered pufferfish? And here they are, just scooping them up into buckets, giving them little pet names. Geez, I don't know. Anyway, I took a moment there to swim around. We've come over here to fill up our buckets, but the problem is there doesn't actually appear to be any pufferfish here at the moment, or anything at all. Doc and Wells are online, but usually when other players are online, you see some squids out here. Wells has left, so we should see something spawn. Let's press F3 and B. There is actually nothing spawning in these oceans at all. That is really bizarre. Okay, Doc M just left the game, so I'm the only person on the server now. Excellent. Except there's still absolutely nothing spawning over here. That's really strange because ocean mobs have their own mob cap. Absolutely nothing, my friends. I've been roaming around in a boat for some time and I haven't spotted a single thing yet. It's so bizarre. Really, really bizarre. And by the way, the pufferfish pranking has been a success so far. We've got an Impulse SV, Zedaf, Python, Doc M77, Zombie Cleo and XB Crafted have all been victims of the pufferfish. So thank you to all of you who have been commenting and letting me know. XB's was on a live stream which I wouldn't have caught, so someone tweeted that to me, so thank you, appreciate it. We are eventually going to get every single person on this server. Okay, apparently Doc M is in the area and he got killed by the pufferfish twice, so it might be a good idea for us to leave before he spots us. Is that Doc right there? Maybe I should go the other way. Jeez, he's got a trident, remember? What's Doc saying as well? I told you, nobody listened. Something extremely strange is going on since yesterday. I haven't seen a single fish, squid in the ocean or dolphin. Yeah, something is going on. Like, I've been out here for a while. Remember, I've got the hitbox trick on, right? So we should be able to see stuff nice and easy. A pollution issue or overfishing? Oh. I mean, I guess people are over here ripping up the coral reef, right? Oh dear. Run! Run! I don't know if I even got him. I'm the worst! I'm the worst! Oh. Thing is, if I'd have done that out in the open, he couldn't follow me with the elytra, because I threw both of them at him. So the slow falling would have made that difficult. I guess I didn't need to throw that, but oh man, I'm having fun being Mr. Mischief on the server. Anyway, we are now back at the area which a lot of you were calling my base. It's always been like a temporary farming area, and as you can see, I've ripped out all the farming stuff and moved it to our ocean monument, which of course is going to become my main base for this season, as well as building things around the main Hermitcraft island. There is a chest over here saying, "To Asuma from Cub, I owe you." Check this out, my friends. We got some blank checks right here, okay? These are IOUs with no specifications at all. Cubfan owes me something 12 times over. That was a terrible idea, Cubfan, my friend. Also, I'd just like to point out the irony of this. I mean, he pranked me for using fishing farms, yet he happily brought some name tags that I fished as well. So, hypocrite maybe? Jeez, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we are back here at the Ocean Monument. You can see we've got room now to chop down some trees, and I've set up all of the farms again down the bottom here. It's all basic stuff. What I'm going to do next is head over to the end dimension. We're actually a little short on shulker shells. I would like to get a load more so we can plaster this wall with shulker boxes and never have any issues. Pink is the colour of my valuables. Is that actually still in here? It is. So we are down to this many shulker shells. So before we go on our adventure in the end, I've got some administrative work to do that I'd like to show you. I often get some really good feedback whenever I show the administrative stuff, and if you watched last season, I'm pretty sure I showed you how to do this in that season with MCEdit, the process of selecting chunks to be removed from the world. So what happens is the hermits go off and explore the end, they find loads of end cities, and then you have to travel thousands and thousands of blocks to get to the next end city. So what we periodically do is prune all of these outer areas where no one's actually been building and properly playing, and we delete them, and then that means they can generate again with new end cities. Now the problem is we're looking at a Minecraft 1.12 world, and we can't open 1.13 worlds with MCEdit. So what I've been doing is looking at what are called region files. These are the files inside the folder of the world that actually say what is in each part of the world. And in the end dimension, there is like this invisible border right here where there are 4 different sections of region, and each region file is 32 by 32 chunks. So that would be one region file right there. We'd have another one roughly around the same size over here, down in this space, and so 4 region files would keep the very beginning area which players have built in, which we have our portal to get in, and we have all of our portals to teleport to the outside end areas. So you can see how we can do this. If we delete every other region file for the outside area and keep those original 4, then we will be able to prune everything except this island in the middle. So now we are looking at the files inside of the Hermitcraft server. You can see here we're inside world, then a folder called dim1. dim1 is the end dimension, and then we're in the region folder where the region files are stored. All the ones that are highlighted are the ones that I'm going to delete, and that's half a gigabyte, I think, or near half a gigabyte of size just from the end dimension. Now each one of these files represents 512 by 512 blocks in the world, and you can see there is a heck of a lot of them, and there are 4 in total that we need to keep. Those are the ones that are not highlighted. So the ones you want to keep are r.0.0, we've got r.0.-1, and all the way back up at the top we have r-1.0 and r-1.1. So if you want to use the same method, those are the files to keep. Now what I'm going to do is drag these files into a backup folder rather than delete them. So when I go to the end dimension, I can confirm that this has worked and that we haven't lost anything, and hopefully all goes to plan. And boy oh boy did it not actually go to plan to begin with. For those of you that saw the live stream where I went to the end cities, you will know that I actually did that on the wrong server, and then we had some issues with connecting to the server, and it felt like all hell broke loose. I had to end my live stream early, but eventually I managed to get back on the server after, and I correctly did the method that I just showed you a second ago, and we explored some amazing end cities. In fact, just going to put up a few screenshots one after the other. Some of these end cities were absolutely ginormous, probably some of the biggest ones that I had been around, and so of course I've got a load of epic loot that I have brought back with me. In here we have tons and tons of diamond gear, and a load of this stuff actually has mending. I tried to put all the mending ones in the same chest together. Look at that, loads of diamond gear with mending. That's utterly fantastic. And then in here, wow, gems, shulker shells, dragon heads, item frames. If I have 5 item frames and 5 elytras, I missed a dragon head. That's my mistake. Look at all those shulker shells, fantastic. 22 diamonds as well. Where are my elytras? There they are. Yeah, I did get 5. I had to use one for a little bit as well. So absolutely fantastic time raiding. It was really good. By the way, here on the end island, things are looking pretty messy, and there's been a little bit of innovation going on over here. So Impulse has placed a block in this space down here. This is actually for killing the Wither, so you can take advantage of the bedrock here. And normally we do that in the Nether, right? We find that little grid of bedrock in the ceiling of the Nether, and we fight the Wither up there. Now you can do it in the End Dimension. That's pretty cool. Might have to take advantage of that. I think my first Wither fight, though, my first beacon should be properly earned. Now, the next thing I want to show you is something that Cubfan made right here. We've got a bunch of magma blocks. We got this little thing that we can jump up into, and you can probably guess what is about to happen. We're going to go and stare at the Endermen, and then they are going to run towards us. But they won't be able to hit us because of the way these trapdoors and the thing above us is set up. So then they fall into the pit down below, where the magma blocks are, and they slowly take damage, and eventually they die. And apparently sometimes they like to group up on the side over here, so I like to whack them with my sword. And so then all of the Endermen died, and I jumped down here, and I held down shift to not take damage. And I picked up the ender pearls, and then I realised that I might have already had some in my inventory already, so I kind of tainted the test, so to speak. But I actually did this test earlier, and basically the drop rate of ender pearls from endermen is actually really low when the player doesn't kill them themselves. So I had killed a lot of endermen and didn't really get anything for it. So it's a cool farm, but you don't actually get a lot of ender pearls from it. So now I'd like to talk about what I'm going to do next episode and this episode as well. I've got 2 builds planned for this area, which are going to be very interesting and a lot of fun. But we're going to start off by reserving a space for a project I'm going to do in the future. Not necessarily next episode, but what we will be doing then is making a mega kelp farm, and we're going to build some sort of smeltery here in the shopping district, which is actually probably going to be more of a service. Maybe it'll be free, maybe there'll be like an entry fee or a pass that you can buy, but that'll allow you to use a smelter, which we're going to be building here. And I want to create something that's really impressive, a build that reaches for the skies, kind of like Ren's Log Emporium over there for the Big Logs Inc., where he's selling stacks of logs for 2 diamonds. Look at this, a giant tree trunk that's kind of burned out, and you can see that using these stripped logs, and that thing is absolutely gorgeous. So I'd like to create something that's really eye-catching right here in the middle. So this area has been reserved for me to build that, and I need another area to be reserved in order for us to build the kelp farm. We are now high up in the sky looking over the modern district. Just over there it would be the shopping area, but behind me is the area that I want to reserve. And I'm not going to talk about it too much, but where I'm poking my head right here, this sort of cove area is the place that I want to reserve. So I'm going to throw down some cobblestone markers again, and I'm not going to talk too much about the significance of this area right here, because that'll be explained in the next episode when we undertake building a absolutely massive kelp farm that is going to produce a ridiculous amount of kelp. It is going to be really quite something. So we need to reserve a large area across the coast here, and I'm going to end up building this area up and putting a lot of structures in this place and really kind of transforming it, even though we technically don't need that for our kelp farm. You know, everything I do on this server I try to make it look extra special, you know. So anyway, going to throw down some markers and outline where I want to build. So here it is. There are markers everywhere and some borders have been laid down, and I've chopped down all of the trees to make things nice and visible. Now you might be thinking this is a really large area. Well, the things that we're going to be building here are more to fill up the space. Like, we're going to have some walking platforms around here that will lead to the main building, which will be somewhere back in this region. But I don't want to waffle on about this for too much. We've reserved the area, and you'll see what we'll be doing over here in the next episode. Alright, now we can move on to doing a little bit of building, and in order to do some building I am going to need some particular resources which just happen to be together over here in the mesa. Well, what I need is a bunch of clay, and I need to dye that clay, but I need to dye a large majority of it to white as well. So coming over here and grabbing these 2 together works out really well for us, doesn't it? Anyway, I've just got to grind away here for a while. I've got everything else that I need. I've got some wool. That's kind of like the main other material actually, and then I've got all of the dyes that I need to colour these things so that we can build a new shop in the shopping area. So my friends, I decided to live stream the process of building our new shop, and if I remember there'll be a link in the description. It was a really cool live stream actually. We had a lot of chat, a lot of discussion about some serious topics, while we also built this. A Cubfan. Oh, amazing. And I've got to give a shout out to Xisumavoid, who has built a plot on my plot world server, played.xisumavoid.com, where there are statues like this of every single hermit. And it got me wondering if maybe we should build like a Hall of Hermits somewhere, because that sounds seriously cool. But here we go. We got an actual Cubfan over here. This is a temporary shop, and I think all of you are going to love this new mischievous Asuma who's getting up to no good. Pufferfish pranking people. Now we're doing a mini prank on Cub over here, because the name of this shop is Cub Owes You. Cub Owes You. Buy one today. Need a favour? Authentic IOUs. That's right, Cubfan gave me 12 authentic IOUs, and I am going to put some of those up for sale, which means for the low price, might I add, of 8 diamonds, another hermit can come over here and buy a favour from Cubfan. A blank check, ladies and gentlemen. These should fly off of the shelf. It's literally a blank check, and you've seen it here in the video. You saw it in Cubfan's video where he dropped off the IOUs. These are authentic right here. You know, these are legit from the man himself. So we should be increasing some of our profits over here, you know, with those sales. I'm sure they're going to fly off the shelf. 8 diamonds, man, that's such a bargain. But anyway, over in here, we get the conduit effect from our conduit just over there. When I move into the middle area, we'll actually start to lose the conduit effect, which means, and this is something I'll do on a live stream, I need to move that conduit forward by about 10 blocks or so. But we have been making diamonds over here. Look at that, we've sold absolutely everything. So far, I think we've made 30 or 32 diamonds. Yes, 32 is our current profit number, so we're going to add these diamonds to that. That is crazy. We've sold all of the conduit and conduit kits. I need to work on getting some more, don't I? That is a top priority. Then over here, the bone blocks are flying off the shelf. I'd like to double click these and pick them all up, but that'll pick up the 30. Well, actually, I can do some deduction, right? So we sold 10 lots of those because of 43. So I need to restock that. That seems to be very popular. Over here, we got our turtle helmets. Hello, hello, another 16 diamonds. We're getting close to a stack, my friends. Very close. And over here, just the one. Oh, so we don't make a stack of diamonds today. But that is superb. So 60 plus 32, we have made 92 diamonds so far. Well, looks like we've got a customer already with Impulse. That's fantastic. And I have another project lined up for this episode that's going to be amazing. But something else that's amazing that we need to check out right now is this shop. Look at what you're seeing right here. Do you need an action sequence? Wow. This, my friends, is the magic of the armor stand book, which has managed to put an arrow through my eye. Oh, this is Zombie Cleo's new shop, and it is amazing. It is called Diorama Rama, and I feel like there's some sort of pun or clever meaning there that I just don't understand. And check it out. Wow. That is the power of the armor stand. You can get the armor stands to hold an item for you, and then you can make them invisible, and you can put items on shelves. And you can make spooky things like this, with mini ghosts flying around. It's all possible with these books. I love it, and the shop is amazing. There is also another shop just around the corner, although it doesn't... I'm probably seeing it half built, right? It's a community block exchange, but there's nothing in there, so we'll have to wait and see. It looks very much like a Mumbo build, and it's kind of near Mumbo's other shop as well, with a similar style. So maybe exclusive previews, I don't know. But we need to build in this area anyway. This is where we're going to be building. We're going to create the entranceway between the 2 different districts and the beginning of the border of 2 different areas. And this is like a plan for all of the areas to have pathways that go through the borders and then build structures or walls or whatever to kind of separate the 2 areas. And Python has come in here, built his house there and his first shop here, which doesn't give us a lot of space to build one half of this. But I think we're going to be able to squeeze it into this spot right here. And then what we've got to do is do some terraforming right here, or landscaping, or removing of blocks, however you want to describe it, because this is a little bit too high up. We actually kind of need this thing to be flat, but luckily for us, if we look at the shape of this thing, it's only really a small area here that's raised up, and then it drops down quite sharp on that side, so it should actually be really easy to come in here and rip all of this out. Now, what we're going to be building is something from a game called Roller Coaster Tycoon number 2. For those of you that have played this game for hours and hours like I did when I was a kid, you will probably recognize the build when it is finished. There is paths in this game, and you can build little signs that go over the paths. And with one of the expansion packs, it added lots of different designs. They were themed around space and dinosaurs and all sorts of things. And I had this idea in my mind of building one that was gigantic. So Graceful, who is one of the builders on the Plot World, the play.xisumavoid.com community, has been so kind enough to actually kind of like recreate this structure from an image that I got of the game, of the arcway. It's going to be amazing. Like I'm so stoked for this. So I think what we're just going to do is jump straight to it being finished, or maybe I'll show you the terrain once it's flattened first. So as I'm ripping out the land here, it just kind of occurred to me what I should probably do is rip out the part of the land that I need to build on first, and then once I've built what I'm going to build, I can then think about the terrain around it. So having these harsh slopes like this is fine for now, because once we've built what we've got, maybe we're actually still going to have an island of grass over here. You can see I kind of went over to the side a bit, and that was probably a bit much. We could keep some of this terrain as is, so kind of avoiding making more work for myself here. Now what you're seeing here is bone blocks, because this thing is built out of what looks like bones. They're like tusks that have been sort of lodged into the ground from the deeper side. They come up, they point up into the sky, and then there is a sign that has been built through the two tusks. That's kind of how it works. So what we're looking at around this height here is where the sign is going to start. The sign is probably about 8 or 9 blocks tall, and then more of the tusk will stick out at the top and they will meet each other and cross over. What we need to do now is take a step back and look at this. It's taken me a really long time to build all of that, and it is going to look great. We'll have to chop down a couple of trees to make sure the view isn't too obscured, and we're also going to take to the skies. Whoa, I almost went straight into a tree there, didn't I? This is going to end up looking amazing. The unfortunate thing is time. I've kind of used up all of my time and I need to render and upload to YouTube, right? Oh, it's going to look so good when it's finished. The beginning of the next episode, we are going to finish this sign and it is going to look glorious. I tell you, it will do. If you've enjoyed this episode, wow, there is a Death Star floating over here. That's looking cool. What is this? Jeez, I need to investigate. I believe this is something to do with TFC's base. But if you have enjoyed this episode, then please do leave a like. As always, thank you for the support. I apologise for not finishing my 2 projects I had planned. But it will get done at the very beginning of the next episode. And it's going to look amazing. Trust me. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.